the virtual people can hear us. Come on now. There we go. All right. So welcome, everyone. Let me check to see if you all can hear me remotely. How's the remote audio? Is it picking up well? Okay, great. Sounds great. And we are recording. So FYI, this event is recorded. So if you'd like to come back and to go through any of the processes that we're going to do, it'll be recorded for you to have for later. And so officially welcome. Welcome to our first Charlotte Meetup. This is a co-hosted event in that we are combined with a couple of different meetup groups, the Women Who Mule Meetup Group, the Charlotte Meetup Group, and the Healthcare and Life Sciences Meetup Group. And so it's a MuleSoft community event. And we're excited to be here at this beautiful country club. And with me here is Dave McDaniel, also with Cloudblazer. Yeah. Come on. Let me get our clicker working. When all else fails, do it ourselves. Okay, so here's our agenda for today. We're going to be doing obviously introductions now, meeting our sponsors with Cloudblazer as well as Integration Quest, and then we'll start the workshop. So we're going to probably take a break right before the workshop to allow a couple other people that we know that are on the way. And then we will get hands-on keyboard working on several things, including data cloud prompting with, the Agentforce prompting, as well as the agents themselves, and agent builder. And afternoon, beyond that, we'll have another session using intelligent document processing, using a Mule API to integrate with Agentforce. So exciting. And the meetup leaders for the Women Who Mule Meetup group is myself. I am also with Cloudblazer as a practice lead for the MuleSoft practice lead, and as well as Integration Quest co-founder, which on the Integration Quest side, you'll hear a little bit more about that. I'm a certified MuleSoft instructor for them, and also the co-founder for the company. So in addition, I keep really good friends also in the Women Who Mule category. We've got two of the women that are in the room with us also virtually. So we've got a large group virtually with us as well today. And Nisha Sharma and Shivani Moraro are also meetup leaders, and both of them are Golden Hoodies. So I keep really good friends. If you're not familiar with what the Golden Hoodie is in the Salesforce Eco community, it's a highly recognized recognition, and both of them have achieved that. And I don't know if you all want to come off mute and say hello, Shivani or Nisha.
Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Great to have you with us, Shivani. And she's also a certified instructor as well. And Nisha, are you with us? I don't know if her mic is there. Okay. Well, we are really glad to have them with us as well. So thank you all for being here. And they're monitoring the chat channel on the virtual side. So now I'd like to pass it over. Now it's Dave's turn to tell us a little bit about their sponsorship for this event. And we really appreciate it, Dave, with Cloudblazer doing that. So just cue me when I need to change the...
Absolutely, I certainly will. And so for those that I have not met, I'm Dave McDaniel. I'm one of the partners here at Cloudblazer. I'm joined by my co-founder and partner, Paul Yoder, and some of our staff here that will be your host today. Pleased to have the opportunity to host this meetup and get to know you a little bit better virtually for those that are virtual, hello. And for those that are able to attend later today for our happy hour, look forward to getting to know you a little bit better. So a little bit about us. We've been at it a good bit. I think what distinguishes Paul and I is we started as end users. And so we are perspective in terms of how to address your individual needs as clients. And some of that comes through experience and point of view and feedback from clients we've received over the years. We've got a pretty strong team here that is not only based here in Charlotte, but most on the Eastern time zone. We do have some of our folks that are offshore and in other time zones to address all of your MuleSoft and Salesforce needs. And as I talk about kind of a unique approach, we believe that there's an opportunity, and I'm going to speak about this in greater detail later today, but an opportunity to have an implementation and support process as if you designed it. We operate like we're a 1099 employee of your company. We believe that transparency is paramount in these projects. For you, those of you that are key stakeholders for companies and you're representing those companies, we know the success of projects with Salesforce and MuleSoft are paramount. And the path to success that we'll unpack a little bit later today starts with a transparent approach. So that really involves making sure that we support your procurement of licenses, rather than MuleSoft or Salesforce, at no charge. We do that pro bono as part of what we do with no obligation as well. In addition to that, we have a collaborative budget setting process. So it's very detailed. We want to make sure we incorporate any resources that your teams may have. For the solution engineers on the line and here as well, in your sales cycles, we've been behind closed doors when they're evaluating Salesforce and MuleSoft. We understand the personas that are involved, and we feel that the collaborative budget setting process is really what they should expect. Transparency in terms of billing should be expected, and we know that that's what they're looking for. If we're being honest, a lot of the folks that we work with, as solution engineers to prospective clients or clients, we've been through a project that didn't go well. And if you look back at what you expect to make sure it does go well, there's certain steps that we'll follow, making sure you work with a partner that doesn't have minimums. We'll be completely transparent again against every billing, time entry against a project, give you the autonomy to pivot and checkpoints along the way. And we'll unpack those a little bit later on. We also believe that continues forward once you're live, and we basically are able to offer that same no minimums approach, transparent process through not only our support in the budget building process, but through technology, using a wonderful Salesforce platform and an app that we've built that basically we provide for our clients and allows you to basically submit what you need, allows us to collaborate with you based on it connecting to our instance of Salesforce and initiating that conversation. And then basically determine what level of effort it is, and then holding us accountable, because we put in the record in your instance of Salesforce, we put how much time it's going to take, right? Holding us accountable to transparency and hitting the number, again, with no minimums along the way. And the app allows you to see every step of the way where we are in fulfilling the process, allows you to manage us. If you decide you want to take something in-house because you feel like you've got it, you can do that. Every scenario of managing your post-go live needs has been thought of based on feedback from clients and ways to iterate this application. So if you want to see a demo of it, reach out to us. If you go to our website at cloudblazer.us, there's an easy way to request a demo. We'd be happy to show it to you in a little bit a more greater fashion as well. So the technology combined with the very little terms allows us to be basically a performance-based solution for your clients as well. As far as next things, if you want to see other examples of work that we provided, go to our website and you can sort by as a product or other products there, industry-related things, if you want to see some examples of the work we've done. So as I wrap up, thank you for investing time with Diane and the team here. Thank you for allowing us to host, and I look forward to talking to you guys in greater detail at 5:30.
That's right. Yes.
Happy hours at 5:30.
Yes.
Right.
That is
and for
correct.
those of you remote, feel free to pick your beverage of choice and join us remotely.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And there's your mic.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. All right. Thank you so much, Dave. And it's a pleasure to be affiliated with them at Cloudblazer. It's really been great to work with them, meet them, and I love the transparency. I mentioned that's one thing that really has resonated with me to really build that relationship with our clients. Our other sponsor today, in which we're going to be using their Anypoint platform account under the partner organization under Anypoint platform, you're going to have access to the entitlements for intelligent document processing. If you want to dabble with Composer, it's also going to be there, as well as robotic process automation. And that is Integration Quest. I'm co-founder of Integration Quest, and we are MuleSoft certified, Salesforce certified instructors. We teach all the instructor-led courses. So if you sign up for any of the courses on the Salesforce site for those classes, it will be us. We're some of the instructors that teach those classes. My passion has been hyperautomation. I've really enjoyed to not only learn to teach, but also to continue using those product lines. And there's just 2 of us in the US. I'm presently teaching the class this week. So it's really been a lot of fun to understand the products, understand how quickly they're changing, with the Agentforce elements of it. But with Integration Quest, we also do coaching and customized training as well. So I want to be sure to thank them and for being so gracious to let you have an account. And I'll be signing those accounts a little bit later in our program today. So I want to draw your attention, if you are on site, that there is a little entry form here for our door prizes. So if you'll take a minute to fill this out. And then Lynn's going to come around and grab those, and then we will do a couple drawings throughout the day and into the evening tonight as well. Okay. And sorry for you all remotely about the door prizes there, but at any rate, we'll certainly try to give you recognition on many of those too. So shout out to the virtual team out there, all of the participants. There's 27 that have joined us there. So we appreciate you all being with us as well. So this is our first hybrid event. And we're gonna start off with going ahead and getting started with our workshop. Okay, so in the workshop, I do want you to be hands-on keyboard, and we will be getting started with that to go ahead and get you situated with a Salesforce org. Now, one of the most challenging things I've found as an instructor and as a MuleSoft community leader is people asking me, how can they get access to the products? How can they actually, start working with using orgs or platforms that have the entitlements that we need for being able to use them. So coming to you in the chat is the URL for the new developer org. Okay, and those of you that are on-prem, let me do a tiny URL for this real quick. Okay. 1 second, I will get this for you. So those of you remotely, go ahead and launch into that URL. All right. Those of you here on-prem, that's going to be tinyurl.com/free org. Okay. So let me know. Let me make sure that this does work for me also. Again, it's tinyurl.com/free org. Let's see if that's going to behave. Paste and go. All right, yeah. So let me switch this over now. All right, what you should see, and those of you on with me today here, are you able to get to that okay? Or are you in observation? Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, so this is what you should see. So we're going to go ahead and sign up for this org. All right, so as you scroll down, yeah, there we go. Scroll down, you'll see the new developer edition. Go ahead and click on this. And go ahead and fill out the information. And I'm going to come off screen to enter that in for mine real quick. So we'll go ahead and get our orgs established here. So this is some of our pre-work. All right. So once you have gotten that done, the next thing that's going to happen is you will get an email. Okay. So almost there. Check your email. So like I said, I want to give a shout out to Salesforce for doing this. This is going to be entitled with Data Cloud, Einstein AI, Agent Blazer, details meaning Agentforce components. So really appreciate them providing this. Okay, so check your email. I'm going to grab mine real quick. And you should see an email that looks like this. Okay, so welcome to your developer, and you want to verify your account. Now, I do recommend while you're here, go ahead and copy your username. That's your username. Copy that username because this does not expire. This is not going to expire. So you're going to have access to this for a while. Let me move that out of the way. There you go. All right. And then go ahead and change out the password, or set your password, I should say. And keep that too, because many times we're like, gee, what did I use? What was that password again? So be sure to save your password as well. So do a verify on this. And set the password. And I'm going to go off screen for that. Okay. And if you have any issues remotely, those of you here in person, I can help you some. Those of you remotely, just send a message in the Slack. We'll try. I have a couple people monitoring that. And so we'll try to give you some assistance, but otherwise we'll be circling back with you to assist you on some of that after the event. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay, so once you have changed your password, that should launch you right in, and you should now see your new org. Okay, so there you go. And again, this has everything you need, so you can click some of these if you would like for tutorials, but today you're on a guided tour. So I'm going to bring you along on this tour with me. So we have essentially set up our org here, and we're going to do a couple other things as well to build out our org. But the primary goal behind this is that when we talk about Agentforce and when we talk about bringing in these new features with AI, we see that Data Cloud is at the core of this. Data Cloud is a tool that's going to be used more and more to facilitate the agents getting the data, the customer 360 experience. And so our mission today on this journey is to start with Data Cloud. So we're going to be following along a workshop with applications using a workshop that we did for Agentforce tour. The community did an Agentforce tour this year, beginning of the year. And I'm putting the instructions in the chat for those of you remotely. And then I will also create another tiny URL for everyone else here that's on site. So 1 second, let me grab that again. Okay. 1 sec. Okay, so today's agenda, while I'm doing this, I'll kind of update you on a few things. Today's agenda, this is a long workshop today, but we will be taking breaks along the way. And so you'll be able to, have a chance to do some catching up or just kind of get up and take a break and stretch your legs a little bit. All right, those of you, oh, okay, one sec. Trying to come up with a unique tiny URL. Is that one available? All right. Okay, so for this URL, those of you on site, it's going to be another tinyurl.com/info agent. Info agent. Okay. And that should bring you to this URL. Okay, so you should see the workshop overview. Okay, so again, this is available for you to go through. This is actually an 8-hour program. We're not doing all 8 hours. We're going to be actually doing segments of it to showcase the way that the how Data Cloud is set up, how the agents interact with that, using the prompting. So this is kind of like an AI tour using the instructions here. So to get us started, we do need to finish setting up our org by bringing in the components for the Coral Resort app. So we're going to go to the self-service workshop setup on this page. Okay, so go ahead and click onto that. And then we're going to come down to the segment, drop down to where it says install and set up the Coral Cloud package. Okay, so on this instruction, go ahead and copy that URL at the end, or URI is the actual path. But we want to go to our Salesforce org. And where you have your org, you're just going to paste that end of the URI, paste that at the end after the lightningforce.com. Okay, so what it's going to do is install that package in your org. Okay, so once you've appended it to the end, hit enter. It's going to take you to the installation portion for the Coral Cloud Resort package. Install for admins and click install. Grant access and continue. Okay, now this does generally take a few minutes to install. And so we're going to allow that to take place here. So while that's installing, I'm going to hop back over to our slides here and continue talking about what our mission today will be. So our mission today is that when we're talking about a unified customer profile, especially when we're referring to Data Cloud, I happen to have a Data Cloud specialist sitting next to me here. Would you like to share a little bit about Data Cloud? He's like, no. Okay, I'll let him off the hook. But at any rate, Data Cloud will take and unify your data. A lot of times people will ask me, and I asked this question early on, so where does the data actually reside? Well, the data actually resides where it is initially. Okay, Data Cloud will take and actually index and unify some of that data. I mean, I know I've got several accounts, that I might use, Diane Kessler, I might use D Kessler, or I might use, different first names. Example, my husband, Robert, Bob, so there's, sometimes we have different accounts, and what Data Cloud will do, one of the features it does is it can do a fuzzy match. And unify some of that data. Now, it doesn't change the source of the data, but it changes how it accesses and it unifies that. So one of the walkthroughs we're going to do is seeing actually how that works. So we're starting off with Data Cloud. We're going to also make some connections for that Data Cloud instance and populate and bring in, I should say, a data stream from that source. Okay. So this is where we begin. This is where the journey begins with Data Cloud. And especially in our category, our focus is on agents and AI, and those agents need that data to be working with it. So we will start there. And Data Cloud in this process, C, is some of the mapping that takes place. Some of this is actually are going to be done for us. And so we'll be able to see those relationships and how it will connect in. We're going to see that one of our accounts here has got two different accounts here from different sources. You see one that's coming from Salesforce here, the other one that's coming from AWS S3. And so we take and we unify that data into one unified account. So for accessing her and her personalization on her account, so if whether it's e-commerce or whether it's healthcare or whether it's banking, fins, what we can see in those categories is the ability to bring in that personal data and that information holistically instead of disparate, in different separate categories there. All right. Oh, that's our next agenda. So we're not there yet. All right. So I'm going to take down the presentation for right now. And our installation should be complete here. Yay. That's good. And I hope everyone else has worked well too. So everybody good on that? We'll go ahead and proceed forward. If there's any issues at all, Robert will be here to help. I promise I'll behave. All right. Our next order of agenda on our page here is also to, let me capture it. There we go. All right, so our next order of business on this page is to scroll down. We need to work on our permission sets here. So within our Salesforce org, we're going to come into the setup and go to the permission sets, and we're going to add our user as into the permission sets for Coral Cloud. Okay, so let me slide this over and should be able to go back into our org from here. You're going to behave. There we go. Okay, back into our org. I always like to do a refresh here. And then we're going to go to setup. Upper right, we're going to go to setup. Okay. And once in setup, click on setup here. And we're going to go in the quick find on the left to permission sets. Permission sets. Okay. So in here, we want to look for the Coral Cloud Resort or Coral Cloud app. So Coral Cloud, there we go. That's the Coral Cloud permission set. Let's go ahead and click on the Coral Cloud. And from here, we're going to manage assignments. Manage assignments. All right, no assignments are defined. We're going to click Add Assignment in the upper right. And you will find your account is listed here. So go ahead and select your account. Okay, and then we're going to go to Next. All right, so never expires. That's always a good thing. We'll click on Assign. And now you've just allowed your account to have access to the Coral Cloud permission set. And so therefore, we're going to have full system admin access within that app itself. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do on our agenda, and I'm just following along on that worksheet that I shared with you. So the next thing, but I'll be your guided tour here. So the next thing we're going to do actually in the app launcher, upper left, the multicolored dots in the upper left, go to App Launcher. And here we're going to click on Sample Data. Okay, so this is going to populate sample data into our into our CRM so that we can have access to some of the data we're going to be working with. Sample data import. And center top screen, import sample data. And if that was successful, you're golden. You're good to go. Now we're ready to go over to left side, Coral Cloud. Coral Cloud Resorts. Okay, so when we spun up this org, it was just a basic org. It had some, likely a lot of assets that were already there, some flows and various things that were created, but it's basically still a blank org. Now that we've got Coral Cloud Resorts added, we also have the ability now to be working with this use case. Okay, so this is our given use case. All right, we've got another thing we're going to do now for setting up is the lightning force. So we want to set up the Coral Cloud Experience Cloud site. So upper right, we're going to click on Setup once again. Okay, and in the quick find, we're going to type in digital. Digital D. No, don't type digital D, but just digital. Okay. And come down to settings. Now in the settings, we want to enable the digital experiences. Okay. This is not in your instructions. So this is something due to this being a new org that is a brand new org as far as our access is concerned. So we want to enable digital experiences here. Okay, and then we'll click on Save. And click OK. And now this will coincide with what we are going to see next. Because if we click on New, let's refresh this screen for just a second. Click on New. And you'll find, I have found that refreshing the Salesforce org periodically helps. No, that's not what I wanted. Hang on a minute. Something's amiss. What did we miss? One second. We did need to enable that. That's not in our instructions. And it should have brought us to another screen that it didn't. Oh, fun. Okay, let me go back. Let's go back into setup and digital. Okay, yeah, now we're getting more here. Okay, now we'll go into settings. Okay, this is good. This is what we wanted. Okay, so now it should have brought you into the experience management settings, and you must enable the experience bundle metadata API. You must enable that. And that's what would be missing on that original URL I gave you for the instructions, is the initial enabling of the digital experiences. And now we can click on enable this, and we want to come all the way down to save. All the way down to save. Okay, back to our instructions. Now they will work. Our next part is to once again add or append the URL here where we have replace the URL segment. So we're going to install the package for our site. Go ahead and copy the URI. And we're going to put this up here, append it at the end. Okay, append it at the end. Hit enter. And once again, it's going to install the site. Click on install. Okay, so a lot of this is a Salesforce setup, Salesforce setting up the org, getting it the way we want it, the way we need it. And once this one's pretty quick, this will complete pretty fast. Then we are ready to drop into Data Cloud. Now this will continue while that's rolling. Let me show you this. This will continue down into installing the Salesforce CLI. We're not doing that, but you can. This is pretty cool to do. Visual Studio Code also for some of the other activities here. But again, like I said, this is a whole 8-hour program. We're not doing the entire thing. We're going to focus on the AI components, and we're going to start with the Data Cloud area right here on the left. So we're going to jump into Data Cloud next. Okay. So we shall jump into Data Cloud. And we'll click on the overview here. We'll check and see if that did finish, in fact. Let's see. Install the package, and mine is complete. I think yours should be complete as well. We'll click on done. And now that is set up for us to go. Now I want you to also look in the upper right. When we click on the setup here, here's your entitlements. Data Cloud setup, service setup. So again, this is packed with the setup features we need. And also too, it is equipped with Einstein and agents. And we can go ahead and set those up. We already have the entitlement in here. So in the quick find, let's go ahead and do that. Click on Einstein, or actually an easier way to look for it is generative. Generative. So that you'll come into Einstein Generative AI, and we'll come down further on that list to Einstein Setup. Now this enables the AI component within your Salesforce org. So Einstein is already turned on, very good. And we do not need these others set up for right now. So all is well there. Very good. And also in the quick find, let's go check on agents. So type in agents. Okay, and click on agents. And also too, this is on. Very good. And you should have down here at the bottom, let me get that, an agent force by default. So there's already an agent built in there. So we're going to be using that and modifying it when we go forward. Okay, but we're going to start off with continuing to get Data Cloud set up. So we will jump back over into our Data Cloud instructions here. All right, so as a view, here's what we're going to be doing. Okay, so Salesforce, we loaded everything we needed on the Salesforce side here. We have reservations and guest details in AWS. Okay, so we're going to pull these, we're going to create a data stream. We're going to open up a data stream into Data Cloud that's going to be able to utilize that information there. So that's our starting point, because we want the agents to have access to more than just what's in Salesforce. This is going to bring in those external data sources. Okay, so to do that, we're going to come down here. Yeah, there, okay. And we're going to ingest the contacts, okay? We're going to ingest them. So we're going to be bouncing back and forth between the actual setup of Data Cloud and Data Cloud itself, okay? So we're following along now in the Data Cloud segment under exercise 1. Okay, so let's go into, let me get myself situated here. All right. All right, so we'll go, we have another setup to do, our data kit. And I don't know if our populate the data in that we did earlier has the same data in it. Okay, so we're gonna ingest the contacts using the CRM connector, but they do want us to go ahead and let's do another package install here for the resort data kit. So let's go ahead and click on, again, the end here, the URI, and we'll go ahead and paste this one in as well. But once you have this set up, oh, come on. Once you have this set up, then it will be usable going forward. Again, does not expire. And Shivani, if there's any questions or comments on the virtual side, just let me know. Okay.
Sure. So far, so good. Everybody's
Great.
following along.
Excellent. Wow. Okay. Wonderful. Here too, everybody's behaving pretty well. So that's good. All right. So let's go ahead and install this. Yeah. And so it says that if there are any component conflicts or anything like that, do not install. But we'll go ahead and install this. All right. And again, this one is pretty quick. And then we're going to create the data stream using the CRM connector. Okay. So that's when we'll hop into Data Cloud and start building out that data stream there. There we go. Pretty quick. All right. So once you have that, go ahead and click Done. And I always like to refresh. And now we're going to come into, we're going to start off with going directly to the Data Cloud app. So I want you to click on the app launcher and type in Data Cloud. Okay, Data Cloud, and go ahead and select it. So this is the app. Now, when we come into the app, you're going to notice several tabs up here that we're going to be in and out of. And one of them being the data streams. Okay, so right now there are no data streams. Our Data Cloud is kind of just waiting for ingesting any data. Okay, so we'll click on the data streams. And then we're going to click on New. Okay, so in the source of the different data streams you can set up, of course, Salesforce CRM is one of them. We also have some different connectors here that can be used. And so these can ingest data in from other sources. We'll use the Amazon S3 as well. But look at your options here. There's quite a few all the way down. Okay, so you can check that out later. But for our purposes, we're going to come up here and use the Salesforce CRM. Right? And let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. And then we're going to come to the bottom right and click on Next. Okay, so there's a bundle of data in here also that we're going to do. There's a custom data bundle for Salesforce contacts. Okay, so we have some standard bundles. Scrolling down, there's a custom data bundle that we're going to use. Salesforce contacts. Okay, so that's at the bottom there, Salesforce contacts. And we'll go ahead and click on Next. Okay, so everything here, there's selected fields that are already preset. We're going to use those. That's fine. Bottom right, we're going to come down to Next. And we'll notice also come on down all the way to Deploy. Okay, so this is creating the first data streams. It's pulling in the Salesforce CRM. Because even though we have our Salesforce org, we also have our Data Cloud. This is creating that unification of that data stream between the two. Okay, so we'll give that just a few minutes to get situated there. And then we're going to do some refreshing with this. And what happens also is a data lake object will be created as a result of this. Okay, so if you look at the display here, we've got this data stream that's named Contact Home. And then we come across and we can see it's an ingested one. The last time it ran, it hasn't ran at all. Okay, so on the right-hand side, there's a drop down. And we're going to refresh now. Okay, refresh now. So that has queued it up to process to bring that data in. Okay, so we'll see this update. In the meantime, while that is updating, we'll come over to the Data Lake Object tab. Come over to the Data Lake Object tab. And in here, you're going to see that profile. Okay, we can click on the Contact Home. And we can see the details of this data lake object. And this is where we can see, now it's still, oh, it already updated. Okay, it's got an object status active. I think it's still actually probably ingesting the data. Let me go back to data streams and refresh this. So I don't believe that it has completed yet. It's still pending for the data to come in. But the data lake object is already established, the structure. So if we click on the contact home, and on the bottom right-hand side of the data mapping, go ahead and click on review here. I want to show you this. This is very cool. And this is where we really start to see the, the strength that it has. Okay, the contact fields mapped over to the data model entities. Okay, we've got our primary key. We've got the mapping as you come down further to the contact point address, contact point email, phone is mapped to these fields. And these can be unmapped. You can select them and unmap them and manage them that way. But you can see the primary keys here of the interacting with the primary key in the contact home. Okay. Woo. So all of that's been established. All of those mappings are already done for you. Okay. And we're going to allow this to update in the data stream. So if we refresh this, it should show us when it completes. Yeah, it's still pending. It'll show us when it completes the total number of records. But we can proceed. We don't have to wait for that to complete. But that completes our Salesforce CRM data coming in, okay? Or I should say it's completing it. The data's populating. All right. So our next step on this journey is to do the Amazon S3 connection. So depending on where your data resides, you can create and configure the connector for another data stream. Okay, so once again, let's come up here to setup. So we're in the Data Cloud app right now. We're going to go into setup. Oh, come on, setup. And we're going to come down to the Data Cloud setup. Okay, Data Cloud setup. And on the left-hand side, we have a menu panel here. And if you drop down to external integrations, there are other connectors here. Okay, let's click on other connectors. Okay, and we are going to go to new, and we're going to come for our source under Amazon S3, Amazon S3, and click on next. Okay, so this will be creating a connection with Amazon S3. So this is the actual connection portion. Okay, and for the connection name, now these details are in your workshop document. So refer to we're going to utilize the access key and all of the details here. So we'll be copying these off of our instruction sheet. Okay. So the first part is to name the connection. So before we can create a data stream, we've got to have the connection established. Okay. And we're going to use the access key secret based. Oh, sorry. And then we're going to copy the AWS key. And the access key as well. And the bucket name is in our list there. It's Coral-Cloud. And that's it. We're not changing the parent directory, but we're going to test the connection. Okay. So let's test our connection. And as long as you're good and your connection was established, you're good to go. Everybody good? All right. And let's check and see too. Robert Lee, how are we? If yours connected without any trouble, go ahead and give us a shout out in the chat. Everybody get theirs connected. Awesome. Yep. Yeah. Just let us know. Okay. If not, double check your keys and things like that, because that's going to be your primary one is your key and your bucket name. So we'll click on save. And now we have established a connector. The next thing is to create our data stream. All right, so let's do our data stream here. It's Edna. The password is in the document that is the workshop document. Let me repaste that for you. All of that information is in this document under the data cloud exercise 2, I believe we're on. Yep, exercise 2. So you'll see, if you click that link, Edna, you'll see it here. Okay, so it's access key and the secret access key. All right, and we tested our connection, and now it's showing us a connection here. It's still processing that connection. Let's do a refresh and see, because it's just doing the connection. There it is, and now it should show active. Okay, so you can double check your connectors. So now that the connector is done, the next part is to ingest with a data stream. Okay, so to do that, the data streams are actually in the Data Cloud app. So we're going to come up to the app launcher and click on, go ahead and search on Data Cloud. And then we'll go right over to data streams. Now our other one, look at that. Okay, so our Salesforce CRM has got a total of 176 records. So you should have some records that have populated in now, or I should say access to. So we now have access to those records, and we are ready to create another new data stream for the for our contacts. So let's go ahead and click on new. And we're going to use the Amazon S3. And we just created that connector for that. We configured the connector so we can click on Amazon S3 and come down to next. And again, you're going to have configuration values in your document here. Okay, so be sure to have this available for your connection. Okay, some things will change, some things will not, and I will verify that so you know. Okay, so the connection itself name has populated, so that's fine. You don't have to change that. CSV type, okay, again, that is fine. We don't need to change that. The file, let's see, import from directory is plain. The file name we do need. Okay, so copy that from your instructions. And that's going to be file name. It'll be Coral _ clouds _ guest. Hey, Jake, welcome. Glad to see you. So we have our file name here. And then just double check your source. Okay. The source should be AWS Coral Cloud S3 connection. So everything looks good there. So quick review, we didn't need to change anything except the file name. That's the only thing we needed to change, and we'll click on next. Okay, so it populated a lot of that information in from our connection, the connection we actually made. So now it's bringing in the different fields. Okay. We're going to modify a few of these. All right, the data lake object label, that's going to be center screen. Okay, here we want to type in guest. Okay, data lake object label. Category on the left is going to be profile, so that's okay. We don't need to do that. Primary key, scroll down, primary key. We're changing that to guest ID. Guest ID, or configuring it to guest ID. All right, and everything else over there is good. The only other areas we need to change over here is actually the data types on two of the fields on the right. So in the data type for the email type, which is on mine, number 2, come over here to the data type and drop down and change that to email. Okay, it's text. We're changing it to email. And then for the phone number data type, come down to phone number, and we're changing that to phone. Quick review of what we just did. We named our data lake object guest. All of this was okay. Profile is good there. And primary key is guest ID. And then again, the two data fields over here, they're data types, the email and the phone. And we're ready to click next. Okay. And everything should be good here. There's nothing to change here, but to come down, make sure, yeah, there's nothing that we're doing there. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and come all the way down to deploy. So everything should have populated in. Okay, so you just opened up a second data stream. First data stream was a Salesforce CRM. Now we're getting data that is being, where we're able to access that data and ingest the fields from our S3 CSV file. It's pending. Okay, this one didn't take as long as the Salesforce CRM. It should ultimately be coming in, so it's queued up. And so we will give that a little bit of time for it to populate in before we can actually move through, because we're going to go in and we're going to be doing a little bit of mapping over here. Nothing too painful, but we will be doing some mapping. So this might be a good time to take a little break, because we need this to complete before we can go on. So let's take like a 10-minute break. Sound good to everybody? And those of you virtually, we're going to take a 10-minute break while this is ingesting this data stream. Yeah, it's still pending here, so we can kind of see that it hasn't completed yet. So I'm going to put up a little timer. I got a timer. Those of you who've been in some of my classes, you know I use my little timer over here. And so I'll put up a timer for 10 minutes. So we'll take a quick break. There you go. There you go. All right. Enjoy your break, folks. The camera will be on, so those of you virtual can kind of see us. But I'm going to mute, okay? All right. Sounds good. Hey, here we go. Okay. Okay, so in here, let me capture our instructions. All right, one second. Okay, so in here, we're going to come out of Data Cloud. We're going to go into, we can close some of these other windows for now. We don't need those open. And we're going to come into Setup. Come into Setup. All right, so in the quick find on Setup, we're going to type in Prompt Builder. Okay, just start typing prompt and you'll see Prompt Builder. Now this brings you into the area where you can create a new prompt template for various things. This is very, very powerful and, you know, provides us with a lot of different options here. Click on New Prompt Template. Okay, so the prompt template type, okay, again, this goes in many different directions at this point. You can create a field generation. That's the one we're going to do. You can do a flex that gives you a lot of flexibility with it. You can do a knowledge-based answer. So there's a lot of different directions you can go here. In our case, we're going to do field generation. And the prompt template name is going to be Generate Experience Description. Generate Experience Description. And when you click out of the box, it'll populate the API name. You do want to put the template description in there. It's in your notes, so grab that. And then under the object is going to be the experience. So start typing experience, and you should see the experience custom object here. Experience custom object. The object field itself is going to be description. So we're going to modify the experience description. All right, and click on next. Click on next. Okay. Now we're in the area of building out the prompt. Okay. While we're here, you stay here. I want to show you something. So in our Coral Cloud resort, and you'll see two of them there, use the Coral Cloud resorts. There is an experience tab. Okay, experiences. So these are the things that people can choose to do while they're at the resort. So if we are to look at a given, let me see if I can find which one it is. Okay, we're going to be modifying the aqua. Let me see, search the list, aqua. All right, the one, aqua fitness in paradise. Okay, so when we look at this experience, we see the description here that also populates right under the picture. It's very brief, okay? That's what we're working on modifying. So we're going to come up to back to the template. And this, again, is a prompt that we're sending into whatever AI model we want to use here. And that prompt, you're going to find that prompt in your instructions. And then you're going to paste that into the prompt workspace. Okay. So now we have the prompt that's saying you're a marketer at whatever the organization name is. Now there's a way that we're going to connect that label with an actual field in just a second. But in a prompt, I'm saying also the resort provides experiences. Guests can book through the day, go on. And then here's the experience details. So AI is going to take that prompt and that information and in turn provide a description based on what we've told it to do. Highlight the benefits of the experience between 80 and 100 words, and that's what our output will be. So how come we want to get the organization name here? Instead of it being just this label, I want you to delete that and then come up to the resource. And under the resource, we're going to select the current organization. And here is going to be named. So you can just put it the search at the top, name. Okay. And now it populates the actual field that needs to be there. Come down to the experience name. Go ahead and delete that. It's just a placeholder. And now we want to come in here to experience. And also this one is the experience name. So this one is going to be experience name. So notice now there is actually a linkable resource there. Let's change all these out. Experience type. And we'll go to experience type. Experience location. Likewise for each of these. Go ahead and change each one out. Location. Duration. Oh, nope, don't do that. Okay, so it's going to streamline what someone would normally have to sit there and determine what they're going to write. This is going to use AI to speed up their descriptions on what they're doing here. Also, again, other things that this can be used for in prompting is sending out customized emails. So you could provide, customer information so that it's very meaningful to that customer. All right, so now we've got it populated in with the fields. And I want to draw your attention on the right-hand side over here to the template properties. Now, in the Agent Builder Challenge for Innovator, you actually come in and create your own and customize the model type. But for our case, we're going to use standard. And then look at the different AI models. Okay, you've got GPT Omni, you've got Azure, Turbo, you've got, where did I say? I also thought that I saw Clyde in here.
Anthropic is in there.
Yep, Anthropic. There, Anthropic Claude. There it is. Okay, so there's different kinds of AI models in here. It's not just ChatGPT. Okay, now we are recommended to use ChatGPT for Turbo, and you can even click on the different models and see the results you get. And maybe you want one to be more descriptive. And so you can manage that by choosing what kind of model you actually want to use, what AI server you're using. All right, so let's come down here to the preview panel. And the related record is going to be, we're going to use that Aqua Fitness one that I showed you. Aqua Fitness in Paradise. Sounds nice, doesn't it? Someone just got back from a cruise. Someone else is going on a cruise. Woohoo. So we're going to click on Save and Preview. Save and Preview. So the template was saved, and now we're going to get a preview of the prompt that we just created and the response. Okay. So now we can see this is the prompt that got populated. Your marketeer at Cloudblazer, that's the org I set up as my organization name. You can see the details. If you continue to come down here, you can see everything was populated. And then you see the response over here. And actually, this is very, I'm going to see if I can get this. Oh, no, I don't want everything. But you can kind of take a look at this response we got. Let me open this real quick. So here's the response. And what's a fun thing to do is to experiment with different models and see what you get. So that's what ChatGPT returned back. Okay, you could try the others. Time won't permit us really to go too far off track on that. We're running out of time pretty quickly. So I want to get to some of the agent parts too, so you get to see that. So where this shows up, okay, so this is going to kind of streamline some work and also standardize what you may want your organization to either have by email or a knowledge base for your customers to ask questions. But also in this case, it's going to assist in providing some descriptions for some of the experiences that are out here. We're going to save this. Okay, oh, we did. We saved and we previewed it. So we're happy with the results here. If you wanted to go back in and do other things, we can now just activate it. Okay, so now it will be active. Now it will be active. And we want to, let's see, yeah. So now we need to go to the app launcher. Okay, we'll stay on this page here. If you go to another tab, you should have Coral Clouds open, but if not, or Coral Cloud Resource, if not, go ahead and click on it and get there. And then we'll come in from here on the Experiences tab. Okay, on the Experiences tab, and go to the Aqua Fitness in Paradise so that you're on that given record. Now, notice there's no change here yet. Okay, it's still the basic description. Nothing's been done here yet. So what we want to do is we want to come up here to edit this page. Okay, so if you come to the setup in the upper right, we are going to come down to edit page. Edit page. And in here, on our description field, so this is actually editing the whole page. This is where we're going to apply it on the description field here. Close this. Description field. Click on the description field. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see the opportunity to use the Einstein Generative AI prompt template. If we do the drop down here, you can see your template you just activated. Generate experience description. Okay, so let's save it. All right, and now we want to go back to the actual page again because we just added it, that feature. So go back, up arrow, on the upper left, go back. And now you should be able to see in the description area here, there's now a little icon next to the edit. Click on that, that little, I know it looks like a little fuzzy thing there, but it has a different icon. The little star for the AI component is there. And when you click to edit this, now there is the option to get help with Einstein creating this. So just by clicking that, it's analyzing the request. It's all pre-built in the template. And now I can read what was generated and use it. Go ahead and use it. Okay, so I've now applied it and I want to save it. And now it comes in with more of a description, more of a comprehensive thing. So if you were either coaching customers on how to do something or, again, email experience, whatever the case may be, it allows you to have more information and you've got more of a standardization of what you want to have for your customer experience there. Okay, so that's the prompt. There is a couple other in this category. There is one that is create an email template. I'm not going to do that one today. I'm going to move us into some of the other topics. So create a sales email template is another really cool one. And so if you look at the instructions on it and come all the way down, you'll see you get your, they're doing it based on their interests and the final outcome. Let me see if I can show you. You go in and you update a flow. In this case, again, time doesn't permit, we create the template and then there's the template for the email prompt and then generate the emails and you can send a customized email to your customers. Okay, so it's very cool. Do that one. I really like that one. Again, time, we don't have 8 hours, but we'll take advantage of what we have. All right, so that concludes the prompting. So that's one area that prompting or the AI is being utilized for. And the other area is the agents themselves. Okay, so where are we at on time? Let's take a quick break just to stretch our legs before we jump into Agentforce. And the last thing that I promised also, we're going to do the Mule API, but I also promised intelligent document processing, and I'm going to push that to tonight's event. So I'll give a demo and but I will give you the credentials if you don't have access to an account that allows intelligent document processing so that you will be able to do that. Okay. So, all right, let me mute here. We'll take a 10-minute and kind of get up and stretch our legs a little bit. All right. And that can close. That is good. All right. Let me mute here. Okay, folks, welcome back. And we are now changing focus a little bit. That was all we were going to cover on Prompt Builder. There is more that can be done there, a whole lot more. I urge you to check out the other exercises. You're set up for it now, so you should be able to streamline right into that. And we're going to shift focus to Agentforce. Now, there is a current challenge out there for those of you that like challenges for the Agent Blazer challenge. And so I urge you to do that. Segments of what we're going to do will queue you up to be able to go through this very, I won't say easily. The first one is kind of easier to do, and that's the champion. So you'll come in, build an agent, etc. So we're going to build an agent. You're going to see that. And also I'll go over some terminology and some of the trust elements to control an agent. I mean, we don't want our agents just ungoverned. You need to have governed agents and how they're going to work. The other level is the innovator. And this one will pick your brain. It's a little harder for sure. There's some additional things there for your dynamic agents, as well as using more AI in how it actually works. Pretty impressive how it actually works. Because what's happening under the hood is there is the Atlas resource that's being used as the brain behind the agents of knowing what of the different actions to take. Pretty impressive. So anyway, this is a challenge, and for those of you here, it's trailhead.salesforce.com Agent Blazer, and so you can go in, and when you do go into these different challenges, it'll walk you through it. Now, what we're going to do today is going to help you on the first one. It's not exactly what they do for the champion, but it's a start, and it's going to help you go through this a little bit easier too. So anyway, wanted to share that because it's a fun challenge out there. The third level hasn't been released yet. We're watching it closely. So anyway, Agentforce, humans with agents for customer success. Now, when it comes to an agent, we've had chatbots forever. We've had the chatbots, you log in, you communicate. If you've ever written a chatbot on Salesforce, you pretty much define exactly what you're communicating, what you're asking, what you're doing with the data when you get it back. Everything is very predefined. Okay, so that's a fixed set of rules. Everything that happens there is very fixed. Then we had Copilot. We have Copilots, and they come in and they offer suggestions. And there is a little AI component in there that can take that and do some analysis and provide you with more information. But agents take it to the next level. They're autonomous. They're not where you're actually having to do much. They will take the data very much like prompting and do something with it. Proactive and trusted, and it cracks me up because oftentimes I'll hear it said that trusted, with a question mark, is it really trust? Are they really trustworthy? Well, you set those trust boundaries. You will be setting some of those in the areas that I'm going to show you, where you actually give them instructions, give them a scope, tell them what they're going to do, and that's where they're supposed to be working within. Okay, so that is us as developers, as designers, are responsible to give those guidelines and govern them. Okay, so we can't just say govern yourself. No, we're going to be adding that to it altogether. Now, the little ones that we're creating in this case are not going to be extremely comprehensive, so the instructions are going to be very minimal. I'm going to show you a more detailed instruction set of rules for one, and that'll kind of give you a better idea. So how or why are they trustworthy? We would write that in. Okay, so they'll streamline, make your efforts work a lot faster. As we can see, bots are predetermined. The autonomous agents are actually going in and offering up additional data or suggestions or managing a situation more proactive. Okay, in a natural language, using the AI reasoning engine, it's called Atlas, and just by tagging and having the actions available, that reasoning agent will go in and determine what to recommend or the next steps for that agent. Okay, so the 5 attributes of an agent, we will define the role, what they should do, the data that they have access to, the actions of what they are able to do, what we're going to allow them to do or choose to do, and those guardrails, what they shouldn't do. Do not give this information if they haven't authenticated or if they haven't given you the customer's email and the first name or last name or something like that. You can set your guardrails and where they are to work. So these, again, are things that we're going to configure it with to give it those guardrails. So we're going to define what is called a topic. Like, for example, in this case, the order management. Then we're going to give it those instructions, those guardrails. Always offer to look up an order status. Always look up return status as a first step before processing. Educate the customer on process knowledge actions, things like that, where you can say what you want, the instructions you want. And then in the action category, some additional actions they can take from there based on, what they have responded back with. So these are different categories. What it looks like is this. We're going to get into Agent Builder. And in Agent Builder, we're going to come in and define some topics. Okay. Out of the box, when we create one or have one created, it's going to have some defaulted things here, but we can write new ones. Some of these might even invoke a flow. Some of them might do different things that the agent then can in turn have at its fingertips to use. Okay. And on the right-hand side is going to be your prompting, where you're communicating with the agent so that you can test it out even in the app, in the Agent Builder, as far as that's concerned. In the center area is going to be exactly what's happening with that agent. So you can monitor and see how it's behaving and what it's doing. So that's the overview. Topics, actions, the communication on the right with the Einstein AI, and it's going to be using that data as input, and then exactly what occurs. So we're going to go through all of this, and you're going to see how it behaves. Now, this is what we're going to do. We're going to modify this customer service agent, and it has, some functionality that it already does, and we're going to build this out, show you how that works. Then ultimately, bearing we have enough time, and we should, we're going to actually pull in a Mule API. And this Mule API is going to be integrated with Salesforce so that the agent runs a flow that has access to this Mule API. If we don't have enough time to do it today in the workshop, I will do a recording of it and share that with everybody as far as that's concerned. So let's build an agent. Let's go for it. All right, this is going to come under the category on our sheet here under agents. Okay, how to get started with Agentforce agents. So this is where we're going to go, and we've already got AI set up, so we're going to jump right into the agents area. Okay, so I'm going to take this down real quick. One second here. Okay. All right, so back into Salesforce. All right, so last we were here, we were on the Coral Cloud Resorts. We just used AI to enhance this. So now we're going to go to Setup. And under Setup, we're going to type in agents. Agents. Okay. Now there's another walkthrough that you can do, that you create an agent from scratch, in which case you would come here to new agent and create one from scratch. We're going to use one that was already created, a defaulted one here. So we're going to modify this guy. So come all the way down to the bottom and go ahead and click on the Open in Builder. So welcome to the Agentforce Agent Builder. This is the Builder area. Again, on the left, we have our topics. Okay, these were created. I think these actually come up by default. And then there's other tabs here. You can go to context. There's some variables and filters here. If you used a knowledge base or knowledge library, you would be working with your library here. You do that in the Innovator Challenge. You will get into the library. And language selections, and what's this one? Sessions. Okay, your logs and stuff. So we'll go back up to the topics. This is kind of where we're going to work. This is where you're going to actually see the what it's doing. And on the right-hand side is going to be where we interact with and talk to the AI, Einstein AI. Now, this is the build area. It's activated right now. So we're going to come up here to the upper right, and we're going to deactivate it. Say okay. And we're going to go ahead and add a new topic to its lists here. Okay. So in the topics area under new, click on new, and we're going to create a new topic. Now you're going to have a whole new appreciation for what a topic is. Now in your instructions, you're going to find that there is a topic label. The label on this topic is customer service assistant. Let's go ahead and paste the customer service assistant in there. And now the classification description is very important because the next category is where you describe what this topic will do. And that is used by the AI components behind the scenes to know what this will do. Like it will actually lead it to this topic. Scope, okay, in the scope, we're giving it a role. Okay, so in the scope, we're going to paste in your role is to assist a customer service representative in supporting guests with inquiries about reservations and experience available at the hotel. Okay, so label, description, scope, and at last, we're going to go into the instruction area. Okay. And in the instruction area, we're going to add just one instruction. Like I said, this one's very simplistic. And so our instruction here is never ask the user for an ID. Instead, ask for a record that is relevant. Okay. And so let me show you real quickly if I can find it. It's under service. Okay. So I want to show you, as I promised. Is it there? No, it's actually in a different location. Yeah, never mind. I can't show you. It's not in this documentation fast enough. It's actually in another area where you can see how detailed the instructions are. There's like 5 different instructions, and it's very explicit. And that really is a good example of you're governing it. So this is kind of simplistic here, but at any rate. So we'll go ahead and come down to the bottom right. We basically have labeled it, gave it the description, scope, and instructions. And you can add additional instructions if need be, and click next. Okay. And now what we're doing is we're choosing what actions we want to add to this topic. Okay. So here we're saying, yes, we want to go ahead and add all of these actions. Okay. And so add a case comment, cancel an order, create a case. There's a lot here. Some of these are flows. Some of these are just actions that are created. You can see the difference in identify a record by name. So if we entered in, someone's name, it would pull up the record. And so all of these actions that are listed here are going to be actions that the agent can use. You can unselect the ones you don't want it to have, but we are choosing all of them for it to use in its function of its job. Verify a customer, update a record, etc. So we'll click on finish. All right. So now we can go ahead and we can activate it and actually go to a regular page, or we can test it out here. Let's go ahead and test it out here. And we're going to notice that we have the new customer service assistant here. We're going to go ahead and copy a prompt that says, show me any high priority cases that are open. Okay. So now let's paste that in here. And we're going to go ahead and click and send that in. And it's going out to analyze the request, the AI component, the agent. And it's figuring out next steps. And now it's going to populate what it did to provide this information for us. Okay. So in the center of the screen, we can see that here's what I sent in. Here's what it used. It used the general CRM to provide my answers. And then it used the query records to find it queried the records. You can, see the input and the output here. And the agent's response is down below. And so we get this populated in our window on the right. And so the high priority cases that are currently open are listed here. So you can see actually how it's functioning and the response that it's going to get. Okay. The next one is, let's ask for a summary of the first case. Okay. In natural language, can you summarize the first case for me? And it's doing that. Okay. And this would actually be the same. We're seeing the guts. We're seeing how it's working. Okay. So now it's using the topic out of the box singled record summary. So it's using this one. Summarize the record and the agent response. So it is telling us now what the summary is from that first record. Okay. And in details about her experience of her record. So it's pulling all this in, as a result of a summary of that record. Okay. So there's different prompts as we go down that you can continue to do. Even one of the ones that's pretty interesting here is how many contacts in the state of South Carolina do we have? It has Minnesota in here, but let's change it to South Carolina no, we're in North Carolina, aren't we? Sorry. We're close to South Carolina, no, aren't we? Sort of. Let's see how many.
South Carolina, isn't that a suburb of Charlotte?
So we could just ask something random like this. I wonder how many. Okay, so it's figuring out next step. So it's going out there and looking at within our data, within our CRM to come back with there's 6. Okay. And again, you can look at the different actions that it used to provide that information. All right. So we can activate this. Go ahead and click on activate in the upper right. And now if we do the same thing within our app, so we'll go back out of Agent Builder. Yep, we want to leave the site. We're activated. All right, so if we go to Coral Cloud, Coral Cloud Resorts, and from here, we're on the home page, and now you're a customer service representative, and you want to find out what's going on with this, with this customer, or to get the top cases again. So the way to do that now is to click on Agentforce from the home page, and there's your interaction window there. Okay, so same thing. You just were in the builder before to find out exactly how it was working. But now we're going to ask those same questions, or not all of them, but just some of them. Show me any high priority cases. And so now this is what a customer service representative would see, and they would in turn get the results that we saw when we were using the builder. There it is. And again, summarize the first case. And again, it's going to summarize that. Okay, so you build it. There's that process that you do. You activate it, and then it's available here. Now, we're not telling it, hey, go use my new customer service agent I just made. It's intuitively with that Atlas response, it's going and determining what action it needs to use to facilitate my request. Okay, so it's all working behind the scenes there for us to do. And again, the trust layer comes in as a result of governing it in more detail. And before I finish out, I'll show you, I'll find that other one I was looking for because I wanted to show you that. Okay, so that's the first agent. All right, so we're going to jump into creating another agent. And this time we're going to create, this one's a little more complex. Let's see. Yeah, let's knock this one out. Pace pretty comfortable for y'all? Not too bad? Okay. All right, let's roll. This one is a good one. I like this one too. So we'll go into, okay. Yeah, then we got to do, we got a couple other things I want to, if we can get to it. All right, so from Salesforce here, we're going to go back into, we can close these other guys down if you have them still open. And we're going to go into setup. And we're going to go into flows. Okay, go into flows. So we're going to create a flow that we want the agent to use. Okay, so type in flows. And under new flow, we're going to start from scratch. And we're going to use an auto launch no trigger flow. Okay, so this brings us in. Now there's another feature there. I just shut it. Sorry. I should have had that open, that you can use AI to help you build flows. And that's another option that you can do. Upper left, we're going to go to what is known as the toolbox. And we're going to create a new resource. Now in your directions and your instructions, you've got 3 variables we're going to create. So copy the details over there. So the first resource, all of the resource types will be variable. The API name is listed in the chart. First one is going to be contact ID. Now the description on this one is, this is the contact ID of the contact. The credit will be issued to. So we're going to be creating a credit. It is a text data type. And this is considered to be the low code, a low code click not code solution, by the way. And it is available for input. It is available for input. Quick review, it's a variable. The name of it is contact ID. We put the description in, the data type is text, and it's available for input. And now we'll click on done. Next one, same thing, variable. The name of this one is amount for the credit amount. The description is going to be the amount of the resort credit. Data type is a number, okay, with no decimal points, 0. Okay, we're just going to use whole numbers. And this one is available for input. Okay, and click done. And one more. This last one again is a variable as well. Its name is credit ID. And the description coming to you. There you go. And the data type is text. And this one is going to be available for output. Available for output. And click done. Okay, so on the left-hand side, you should now have 3 variables. They're listed as you can see there. In the contact ID, amount, and credit ID. And now we're going to build a flow. So over here on the flow, the way we do, you click on the plus sign after the auto launch. And you're going to create a record. Create records. Create records. The window opens up on the right for us to add in the configuration, and that is also in your instructions. So you're going to name this create credit record. The description, create a credit record, including a contact ID and the amount of the credit. Okay. Now we're going to set the record fields manually. set the record fields manually. And the object is going to be where did that go? Yeah, credit. Sorry, credit. I was going faster than I was paying attention. Credit. And the field names down here are going to be the amount. Okay, the amount. So if you want to check it, you would click on it to see it should say, come on, amount _ C. And then for the value, we're going to use amount. You can start typing. Is that going to be a, 1 second. Yeah. They have something that's wrong in the instructions, I think. Hold on a minute. Let me double check something. Skips it. Okay. Just checking to be sure on this. ID. If that is supposed to be credit or credit ID, I think that is actually not right. I think the visual on the instructions here are, I guess it would be credit. Okay, sorry. Coming down to amount here, the amount will be just the word amount under our simple variables. So that's where our variable is being used. And then under there, I know there's a mistake somewhere in the instructions and I'm trying to find it, but I'm just going to have to go forward. Okay, under next is the contact. On the relationship fields, it's contact, and then the value over here is contact ID, our variable that we created. Okay, so again, quick review. We named it create credit record. We have a description. We're setting the fields manually. It's the credit object. Amount is our variable amount. Our contact is our contact ID over here. And I do believe that's everything there. And that's what we need to activate this flow. So we can. Down further. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Is that there? Oh, yes. You're right. Thank you very much. Because that sure would have mattered. Manually assigned variables. Yes. And that's where the credit ID, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. So manually assign the variables and credit ID. All right. Teamwork. That's why I like coding with people, you know. Okay. So we are able, let's go ahead and save this. And let's label it. So the label of it is issue resort credit. Issue resort credit. And when you click out of that, in the description of it, issue a resort credit for contact. On you go. All right, and we can save it. We're not going to run it. We're just going to go ahead and activate it. There you go, activate. All right. Now, we created a flow, and we're going to go back now. And we're going to go into agent actions. Okay, agent actions. Agent actions. This is where we create an action. Okay, before we saw the list of actions, right, that were automatically available in the library of the actions. Now we're coming here to create an action that will be listed in there as well. And we're going to click on new agent action. And it says, what kind of action you're going to create? A flow. Okay, this is a flow. Or I should say, it's from a flow. Reference action, now it wants to know where are you getting, what flow is it? And it's the issue resort credit, that flow we just created. Issue resort credit. Okay, so we're creating an action that the agent's going to use or possibly use in its solution. And we're using that flow we just created. Let's go to next. Okay, now this is where we're determining input output. We are going to unselect the show loading text for this action. Unselect this area here. And on the inputs on the left, we're going to require input for both the amount and the contact ID. And then the output, we want to show that in the conversation. Okay, show in conversation. So basically, we just unselected the show loading text, required input on the inputs, and show in conversation on the outputs, and click on finish. Okay, so now we have a new action. If you scroll down here, we should find that action. Should define it as a new one. There it is, issue resort credit. Now we're going to go back to the agent. Okay, so now go to the agent here on the left. We'll go to agents. And now we're going to add that new feature to our agent here. He doesn't have that ability yet. Click on Open in Builder, and we're going to bring that action into its topic. Okay, so we're going to click on the Customer Service Assistant, and on the right-hand side, we have the topic configuration. Okay, so all of this is here. Let me see. And then there is a list of topic actions here. Click on that. And these are the ones that we assigned originally. Now, the new one's not there yet. So this is how you control what that agent can or cannot do. Okay. We first need to deactivate it in the upper right. So let's deactivate it. Say OK. And now we can modify it. And we want to tell it to add that new feature. So here's the new. And come down to add from asset library. Add from asset library. And there's the new one we created, the issue resort credit. And click on finish. Now this can be a little buggy. There are times it finds it immediately and other times I have to do it a couple times. Like it didn't just find it. Let me see if I refresh the screen. Sometimes it won't find it. Other times it'll appear there. So you're in the Customer Service Assistant under the topic actions and look for issue. No, it didn't show it. Sometimes, yeah, there it is. It's at the bottom. Okay. So it did, in my case, stick. Sometimes it's a little tricky. All right. So now it does have this feature. And let's go ahead and even before we activate it, we can test it out here and try it. So this is actually going to do it though. Let's put in the task or in our conversation window and paste in issue $100 resort credit to a contact named Sophia Rodriguez. And let's go ahead and send that in. It's processing behind the scenes. And you're going to see it bring it up of what it did in the middle. Okay. So it was issue the $100 credit, customer service. Now you can click open these instructions and see, the actions that it took or what it had available for it. Identify record by name. Okay. Because we gave it Sophia Rodriguez. And so it had to in turn go get Sophia's information, right? And then it came down to issue the resort credit. And with the credit, then it came back and added a message that it was successfully added to Sophia Rodriguez. Okay. So you can in turn go look at her record. You have to locate the credits. They're a little buried, but at any rate, you can see the credit that was added there. So you created a flow, you turned it into an action, your agent, now you added it to its topic of actions, and then that agent can in turn now use that as a possibility of what to do. So now we want to activate that. Okay. And there are more that you can do here. Again, just kind of keeping an eye on our time. Time just doesn't permit us to do everything. But that is what my agenda was for the agents at this point. We're going to, we'll have a teensy bit amount of time because our timeline is, let me double check our timeline too. So that's where we're going to actually do 1 and 2, and then this extend agents with MuleSoft. Okay. FYI, this does not work. Okay. I had to create our own API with our own proxy. Those of you in the Cloud Blazer partnership, I created one there for you. But there is an API created that we will use in the accounts that I'll give you that are part of the Integration Quest partnership account. So I'll give you credentials for that. And then we can in turn do this. And there is the process here, even for importing the external services, is no longer available doing it this way. They've changed the Salesforce integration piece. Yay to the engineers that did it because it's better. And I can walk you through that. I'll take that time to walk you through it to import it in. And that way you'll have that piece done. Because let me check on our timeline and agenda here. Let me do one thing first real quick. All right. Okay, so let me get this over here. Okay, folks, I'm going to mute for just a little bit. We're going to be, Edna, what I need you to do, okay, so for those of you that are on the virtual side of things, what I need for you to do is you'll have to request the accounts. I do not want the accounts just blasted out on a video recording. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to send me a request by email. And that's not you all. You all are in a different category because you're here. Hold on a second. There you go. Okay, so those of you that are either in the virtual point right now or you are watching this later, send a request to that email and I will return back with you the credentials that you'll need to complete this, okay? Because the instructions on the workshop that Salesforce has is no longer working, okay? And that way I'll guide you through and you can follow along with the video. I just have to manage these accounts very carefully because they are the Integration Quest partner accounts in Anypoint platform. So I'm going to mute for just a little bit while I'm giving that out. I'll monitor the emails and then we're going to come back in and do the integration piece between Salesforce and MuleSoft. The new version, okay, is different now. It's nice, very nice. All right. So I'm going to mute and I will unmute again, I'll promise, in just a few minutes.